Hi there, I'm Tracy Townsend, and we are heading back to the classroom this month. Summer winding down for so many families as we approach the start of a new school year. The first day of school in the state's largest school district, Columbus City Schools, is coming up fast, August 25th. Even before that first class, some families already got their first assignment as the district updated its transportation plan in the parent portal for families eligible for transportation. Superintendent Angela Chapman is urging families to use these last few weeks to get ready for that first day. In fact, she told me it's never too late to prepare.
Thinking about making sure that your child is continuing to read over the summer, continuing to stay engaged, limiting their screen time, making sure that their students show up for our back to school fair. We'll have all of the community resources and schools back to school supplies that they'll need for the first day, and then certainly making sure that they have a plan for the first day of school, mapping out how they're going to get there, what time they need to get up, making sure that their child is fed for the first day. All of those things are important, not just for the first day, but for every day of the school year.
It really is about staying engaged. So to that end, you can check your child's transportation information on the district's website. You can find this section on the home page. And if your student enrolled in the district already, you're going to get that information on August 18th. If your child enrolled from today on, there could be a delay in the route on that first day of school. But again, stay engaged, ask a lot of questions. And remember, the Ohio State Highway Patrol also inspects school buses to make sure that they are ready, road ready to go for the school year. And this is something our transportation reporter, Amy Steigerwald, first told you about earlier this summer. Troopers work with the State Department of Education and Workforce on any compliance issues. Inspectors tell us they look on, they look in and under the bus for any potential issues that could put a bus out of service. And this includes anything from tire issues, friends, to the foam inside the seats.
So under here, we're going to look at the exhaust system to see if there's any damage, rust spots, big rust holes, any leaks in it, to make sure that it's secured to the frame of the bus.
The State Highway Patrol tells us the inspections last anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. Since the year 2020, troopers have done nearly 195,000 of these inspections. The State Highway Patrol is also reminding Ohioans to pay attention when you're driving in their school zones. Drivers should share the road with the school buses and follow traffic laws to keep everyone safe. Since 2020, the Highway Patrol says there have been more than 6,200 crashes involving school buses. 5 people died in those crashes, including 1 child. Here's what you need to remember when sharing the road with a school bus. Once you see those yellow lights flash, that means the bus is getting ready to stop. On a 2-lane road, state law requires drivers in both directions to stop for the bus when its lights are flashing red and that stop arm is extended. If you were on a road with 4 or more lanes, you must stop if you're going in the same direction as the bus, while oncoming traffic can proceed with caution. Another big safety thing that officials want you to keep in mind is just to avoid distractions.
Please don't use your phone while you're driving. Please be on the lookout for those school buses. They stop frequently and they slow down frequently. So just be aware to look out for them.
And remember, you must also stay stopped until the bus driver starts going again or signals that you can pass. Now let's turn our attention to shopping. Back to school shopping means backpacks, binders, and big savings. Right now, Ohio is having its annual sales tax holiday. It's 2 weeks long this year, and it runs into August 14th. Jay Plyburn shows us this tax-free holiday and how it can help you save some extra money.
From Friday, August 1st to Thursday, August 14th, shoppers across the state of Ohio can purchase any tangible item up to $500, including clothing, electronics, and sports gear, completely tax-free.
Doing a full 2 weeks gives people the opportunity to really take advantage of that. Sometimes it takes a few days until people it kicks in and they say, oh yeah, let's go buy what we need for school.
To our surprise, not everyone knew about the savings.
Are you familiar with tax-free holiday that's coming up?
No, I'm not.
Do you know about the tax-free holiday?
No. I do now because you told me, but no.
Needless to say, they were excited to learn about the tax-free holiday.
Is that something you might take advantage of?
Oh, definitely.
What specifically are you shopping for when it comes to back to school?
I would say for him, it would be like crayons, markers.
Maybe some food or back to school clothes.
Probably some calculators. I have a daughter going to college, so she will probably need like a laptop of some sort.
Construction paper, anything like for arts and crafts.
Some clothes, shoes. Teenage boy needs all the shoes.
To give you a better understanding of the savings, let's look at the numbers. The statewide sales tax in Ohio is 5.75%, but you get a break from that tax over the next 2 weeks. So for every $100 spent, you save $5.75. Even restaurants are in on the deal. As long as the bill is less than $500, there's no tax.
But not everything is exempt. Items over $500, like high-end gaming consoles, do not qualify. Also excluded, alcohol, tobacco, vaping products, and anything containing marijuana.
And again, that was Jade Plyburn reporting. Here are 3 things you should know to get the best deals. Again, that $500 price cap is per item, not the total purchase. We're talking per item. The deal works for in-store and online purchases as long as you order and pay between August 1st and the 14th, even if the delivery is later, so you still have until the 14th. And you can combine sales, pairing the tax-free holiday with retail clearance items and coupons. Friends, you can save a whole lot of money. Stretch that dollar as much as you can. The National Retail Federation does expect the average back-to-school shopping spree to cost about $858 per child, but that number is down from last year, and fewer Americans say inflation is changing the way they shop. We talk with experts from the financial site Bankrate about how you can save, and one big thing they say you can do is to know what's already in your house.
A lot of times we forget about last year's school supplies or last year's fall wardrobe. Dig these things out of storage. Don't buy new if you already have it.
Shop your closet. Bankrate also says people are buying cheaper brands and they are looking for more deals like you get with Ohio's extended sales tax holiday. You could also save by buying secondhand, whether that's through social media groups or at thrift stores. And getting your child mentally ready is just as important to set them up for success this academic year. Part of our Back to School series goes beyond the books as we focus on mental health. Your pediatrician or primary care doctor is often the first stop. That's why I sat down with Dr. Chelsea Moreland from the Columbus Medical Association. She told me parents can learn more about mental health conditions, including anxiety, at that physical or wellness exam.
Part of my job when I see children is to make sure that I have opportunities to speak with them alone and interview them without a parent present. And sometimes we get pushback about that because people feel like, my children don't have privacy. Everything that happens to them, I should know about. And while I agree with that sentiment that we want our children to feel open to talk with us about things, our children also need trusted adults in their lives that they can be 100% honest with.
And experts from the American Academy of Family Physicians say anxiety can show itself in a number of ways in our children, including excessive worry or fear, avoidance behaviors, and in some cases, physical complaints.
That's a big part of what we're doing is screening for mental health conditions, asking questions that parents might not realize are really important in picking up on mental health issues for children. The number one thing that I find often being stomach aches.
Dr. Moreland, by the way, is the CEO of Life Cycle Direct Primary Care, and she told me that she does not take issue with Dr. Google or even ChatGPT. Her advice to parents is to use the results from your prompt to increase your knowledge or get a conversation started with your child's healthcare provider. So if you want to learn about anxiety, take what they prompt for you and take that to your doctor. I also spoke with a local mental health expert who says parents and guardians can give children a mental boost on the new year by assuring them that any of their anxious feelings are normal.
It's normal to feel anxious about any number of things, including returning back to school. And let's be clear, adults can feel anxious about returning back to school as well.
That's why therapist Stephanie Starks says facing anxiety as a family is helpful.
So how are you doing with this class?
Parents can tackle those feelings by establishing a back-to-school routine as early as possible.
We don't want to have kids going to bed early 2 days before school starts. We want to start that a couple of weeks early.
And Stark says this is also a good time to teach children 2 or 3 relaxation skills they can use at home when they're feeling anxious as well as at school.
For example, at home, it could be taking a walk, watching a funny video. Maybe at school, it's arranging with a teacher, hey, when Johnny's anxious, he may need to go get a drink of water. That gives him the opportunity to take a walk. He could do deep breathing, or she could do deep breathing in her seat.
Every child is different, and Stark says, in general, parents should take note of any changes in your child's sleeping habits, appetite, and watch out for irritability or even isolation.
If you have a young person who comes home and you don't see them again until dinner or, God forbid, the next morning, there's a problem.
How do we have those conversations? Because I think sometimes as parents, we're a little bit afraid to peel off the Band-Aid, so to speak.
I think that's an excellent question. When we talk to our young people, don't listen to respond, listen to really hear.
All right, so let's review how to manage anxiety with your children. First, establish a routine. Give your children some relaxation skills that they can use in class, at school, at home. Take note of behavioral changes, and then we have to talk about social media use. Social media is on your assignment list. Caregivers, parents, you got to ask yourself, are you distracted? Are you scrolling in the presence of family and friends, even at the dinner table? You have to set a good example. And Stark says parents have to remember we can't just talk about what our kids need to be doing if they see us doing the opposite. Look at the entire system that you are trying to set up. Experts also say recognize that some of the anxiety your child faces really could stem from different fears and situations. And unfortunately, that does include bullying. 10 TV's Kiara Lake explains how you can talk with your children about bullying to help keep them safe.
The back to school season, it can be an exciting time for some students, but mental health experts I spoke to say it can also bring an unwelcome reality, bullying. Bullying isn't always easy to spot, especially when your child is feeling embarrassed to bring it up to you. So I spoke to Ayanna Hall, the program director at St. Vincent Family Services in Columbus, to explain why.
When it comes to bullying, it hits our ego and our feelings, and a lot of times it kind of comes with like a feeling of guilt and shame, so kids don't really express it even though they've done nothing wrong.
Instead, she says parents can watch out for changes in behavior. Things like your child suddenly becoming withdrawn, they stop talking about their day at school, or they're struggling to make friends. As a parent, she says create a safe space for them to come to you.
The first thing we can do is just make sure they know that you can talk to me and I'm not going to shame you. I'm not going to say you did anything wrong.
And in today's digital age, bullying isn't just face-to-face. Cyberbullying can be even harder to detect, especially if your kid has a social media account you're not aware of.
And a lot of times those are like their spam accounts where they get to just post silly things. But those are also often the accounts that they tend to bully or say mean things from. So trying to be vigilant enough to try to pick up on that.
Hall says the most important step parents can take is to keep showing up.
But trying to also build that trust so it doesn't feel like an invasion of privacy, but just, I care about you. So sometimes I'm gonna be in your business.
And if you don't think that those conversations are enough with your child, then St. Vincent does offer resources to help you and your family, like therapy, prevention services, and also how to start those difficult conversations. Plus, we have additional resources on our website at 10tv.com. Reporting from downtown Columbus, Kiara Lake, 10 TV News.
And mental health experts also say the transition from summer to school can weigh on a child's self-esteem. But there are some things to do to help. We are told getting your child into a good, solid routine is a really nice place to start. And that can start a week or two from the first day of school with having consistent times for bed and for waking up. But having structure should not be your only focus. Checking in emotionally matters just as much. If your child is having a tough time, you are encouraged not to wait and ask for help.
We're here, whether it's St. Vincent's or the teachers and staff at the school, we're here, this is our job. Please help us do our job by supporting you. That's what we want to do.
And it's important to remember mental health concerns don't just affect teenagers, but also toddlers. Again, we have resources that you can check out for you and your family at our website. It's available 24/7, 10tv.com. That does it for our Back to School Roundup this week. For more information on any of our Back to School reporting, check out our Back to School coverage at 10tv.com and right here on 10TV Plus. I'm Tracy Townsend. We'll see you next time.